Laura, and this is my channel, Laura and Real Expat Life. If you are new here, welcome. Guys, it has been a hot minute, and I'm kind of looking a hot mess right now. I'm really sorry that I have not uploaded a video for weeks now. Things have been a little bit crazy around here, not COVID related or anything like that. If you've seen my Instagram, you saw me setting up a new home office. I am going to be starting work soon where I'm working from home, but no excuses. I'm still going to be doing videos. They may not be quite as often as I was doing once or twice a week, so I apologize for that, but I am going to keep at it because I really do enjoy doing these videos. Anyway, welcome if you are new. Give a thumbs up if you like the video, click subscribe, and let's get into today's video. I wanted to talk about potty training. I had mentioned on my Instagram a while ago that I was going to start potty training our 1.5-year-old daughter. And I planned to do a video when that was over, and then a lot of things happened. It took a little bit longer than I expected, only about 2 weeks, so not like crazy, 1 year long or anything like that. But my son trained in 3 days, and I'll kind of go into more detail about both of them in a little bit. But it took me a little bit longer than I kind of expected it to. And then the kids got a cold really bad, and then I got a cold really bad. And then all of this with my new job kind of came into play, and so everything took up more time than I kind of had planned. So this Corinthia is now completely potty trained, and what I consider completely potty trained, it's kind of like sleeping through the night. People have their own opinions of what they consider completely potty trained. For some people, it is they're going to the bathroom completely by themselves. They don't need any help with wiping or putting on their clothes afterwards or anything like that. For me personally, with both of my kids, I consider them potty trained when we don't have any accidents, with the occasional, maybe a slip up here and there once, twice a month. But otherwise, accident free. Corinthia does still wear a diaper at night. Again, I'll go into all of that in a minute. But for the most part, she tells us when she needs to go pee-pee. She goes on the potty. Same thing with poo-poo. She understands and recognizes the feelings. She's able to hold it for long amounts of time. And so I consider her potty trained. So let's go into I use kind of the same method for both kids, but it was two very different experiences. Now, obviously every kid is going to be different, depending on the age that you start doing it, depending on their sex, depending on a lot of different things. We did not start potty training my son until we tried once when he was 2. And it didn't take. We tried for a day, and he just had so many accidents, and he really didn't seem to understand the concept that we just decided to forgo it and wait a couple of months and try again in the summer. My husband had some vacation days that we took off, and so we decided we were just going to do the hard 3-day boot camp potty training. We planned to not go anywhere for those 3 days. He did not leave the flat for those 3 days. We went out with the dog and everything, but Ezekiel stayed at home with one or the other of us. And basically the first day now, you're supposed to wait to potty train until the kids show signs like they're waking up dry in the mornings and from naps, kind of recognize that they're doing pee and they kind of stop and everything. They're not doing little pees in their diapers. They're doing, one big pee and all of that, and it's full. You change it and they hold it again. What are some of the other telltale signs?
A few moments later.
They're interested in it. They're excited about it. They come with you to the bathroom. They ask about it. They want to do it. They show an interest. He had none of those signs, you guys. But he was 2.5. It was summer. My husband had vacation. I was tired of changing 2 babies of diapers all the time because we had my daughter was a couple of months old at the time. She was five months old at the time. So I was ready for him to be potty trained. So I thought, okay, we're going to give this another try. I feel like he was old enough to understand it. So we were going to give it a try, and I figured, okay, if it doesn't work, then we'll wait a while again. So we gave it a try. I bought him underwear. He still is really into Elmo and Sesame Street and all of that. So we got him some Elmo Sesame Street underwear, and I tried to get him all hyped up and excited about it. He couldn't care less. I know that a lot of people on some of the blogs and things that I was reading talked about going shopping with your kids and having them pick out underwear. That's not possible where we live. There is no selection of underwear, and what I could find online is really limited. So my parents had actually bought me some from the States, but it has been really hard to find underwear to get my kids excited about. And Corinthia was the same thing. And again, I'll talk about her in a minute. Anyway, so I tried to get him all hyped up about the underwear. He didn't care. I'd been talking about it for a couple of days beforehand. We had been watching Elmo Potty Time on YouTube. It is a 45-minute show, so we'd watch like bits and pieces of it throughout the week. But we would watch little bits of it and kind of talk about the potty and getting potty. And so he understood what it was, kind of, but he had no interest in it. He did not want to put his underwear on. So I gave him until after nap time, and then after nap time, I was like, okay, that's it. We are doing this. I'm not going to put it off anymore. So I put his underwear on, and that afternoon, between 2 o'clock in the afternoon and his 6 o'clock bedtime, he went through 17 pairs of underwear, you guys. Because it was summer, he didn't have to wear pants, so he just had undies on. I'm not a fan of doing the completely naked potty training. There is a method that does that, and I didn't want to do that because I wanted him just like having a potty like in the living room or that you take room to room with you. I didn't want to have to untrain that later. So I wanted to train as close as possible to what he would be doing in the future. Even though he wasn't wearing pants, he at least had underwear on. And then we have a potty. Let me go get it actually. So we have this that just goes on top of the toilet that our kids sit on, that just makes the hole and everything a little bit smaller. This is just a cheap from IKEA. There's all sorts of different styles that you can get. So we had that, and I didn't really like having the potty that like you the portable type potty. Number one, I think is kind of disgusting. And number two, I wanted them both to learn that they needed to go to the bathroom where we do pee, and that they, not to be afraid of the big potty, and that's just where we do it. So it just was one less thing to untrain or to continue having to train later by untraining the portable potty part. But if that's what you do, totally fine. I don't, if that's what you want to do, again, I just find it really icky and I didn't want to do it. I also didn't do a whole lot of spending time in the bathroom. A lot of the blogs and videos I saw said, well, just don't leave the bathroom and, find games to play and read books and blah, blah, blah. I also didn't want the kids to learn to just like hang out in the bathroom for hours. I wanted them to learn that we can play. When it's time to go pee, we go to the bathroom. Now, back to my original statement that we went through 17 pairs of underwear that first day. That's the price I pay. And I was okay with that. The key is to not get mad about it. Accidents happen.
Accidents happen. Accidents happen. That's what they say. That's what they say.
And that's just part of the potty training process. You really can't get mad at anybody about accidents the first few weeks, months, whatever. Kids need time to learn how to do things. You don't expect them to walk right away by themselves. You don't expect them to talk right away by themselves. There's no reason that potty training should be different than learning anything else that they're going to have to learn in life. It's going to take time. They need time to figure out how to do it. So, first day, 17 pairs of underwear. I was really discouraged, but I wanted to keep at it for a couple of days and see where we went. The next day, he kind of got it overnight. I don't know what clicked in his brain overnight, but he kind of understood it more. We still went through about 5 or 6 pairs of underwear that day, but that's through the whole day. And that's a major change in my opinion from the 17 that we went through. He was understanding the feeling of pee. He was understanding he needed to go to the potty. He was actually doing pee in the potty. Obviously, we still had several accidents, but it was a major, major improvement. And you could see that it had clicked in his brain what to do. So by day 3, I think we only had 1 or 2 accidents on day 3. It's been a couple of years now, so I'm trying to remember, but we only had 1 or 2 accidents. And by day 4, I felt really confident and ready to take him out. We got this portable potty seat for when we are out and about, which we are out and about a lot, especially in the summer. We go to the zoo a lot. And so I wanted him, because he was used to going on the toilet with the toilet seat on it to make the hole smaller. I didn't want to scare him by suddenly, if we were out and about, that he had to go to a big potty and that freaking him out and completely setting us back. So I actually found this foldable potty seat, and it's shaped like a frog, or it looks like a frog. And it's really nice because it just folds up like this and this, and it goes in my diaper bag. It has a case that it goes in, and it goes in my diaper bag, and he loved it. It got him, he was excited to use it. We call it rana, which is frog in Spanish. He loves to use rana, and so it got him excited about going potty when we went places. So that first day that we actually went out, we went to the zoo because I knew there were going to be toilets that were available for us to use. and it wasn't going to be too far away where he was going to have an accident. I wanted him to continue to be successful, but I also wanted him to learn to be successful outside of the home. So we did that. And you guys, he had an accident every now and then, maybe once a week for the first month, and then maybe once a month for the next couple of months. Now, he did wear a diaper at nap time and nighttime for a long time, and it's because he would often wake up still wet. It wasn't until I really got to where I was talking to him about if he needed to go pee in the night, all he had to do was call for me. He was still in a crib at the time, so he would stand up then at night and he would call for me, and I would take him potty and then put him back in bed. He would fall back asleep right away. It was not a problem for him. So once he started doing that and learning that, I was finding his diapers dry every single morning, and I was eventually able to completely leave the diapers. We first stopped doing diapers during nap time, and he was waking up dry all the time. And I don't think he's ever had an accident in his bed. So he's woken up at night. Most nights he goes pee during the night. I don't know if it's a boy thing because Corinthia doesn't. Get into her in a minute. But he gets up almost every night to do a pee. But in general, he did really good. And so that's his story. As for Corinthia, we did her a little bit earlier, and there's a reason for that. She showed every single sign practically that she was ready to do it. She's always been very verbal, so she learned the whole communicating pee pee poo poo a lot sooner. She also, because I think she's a girl, she kind of doesn't like that unclean feeling when she has pee or poop in her diaper, and so she would often tell us that she had it. She was very regular about when she went. She was waking up dry from naps and in the mornings. She was going long periods of time during the day with a dry diaper, and then she would pee, and then she'd go for long stretches. So I really felt like she was ready to go. She saw her brother going, she was interested in it. However, like I said at the beginning of the video, it did actually take longer than I expected. I kind of expected, since she had all these signs, that it would go like this and it wouldn't be a problem. In 3 days, we'd be out and about and everything again. And that just didn't happen. She understood the concept quicker. It just took her a little while longer to be able to do what she needed to do. She was almost afraid. I don't want to say afraid because it sounds really negative. It wasn't a negative thing for her, but she was unsure about what to do about the feeling of needing to go pee. She would go and she would sit on the potty. She wasn't afraid of the potty. Nothing ever scared her. She would tell you that she needed to go. You'd put her on, and it's like she didn't really understand what she needed to do to release and to relax. And we would try all sorts of things. I would try to get her to laugh. We tried blowing through straws because a lot of times when you exhale air, you pull your stomach in naturally, and that is supposed to put a little bit of pressure on their bladder so that they pee. Guys, I looked up every trick in the book to try and get her to go pee, because she would sit on the potty, we'd take her off because she'd say that she was all done and she hadn't done anything. I don't believe in making them sit there until they go. If she says she's all done, then she gets down and we try again later, even if that's 30 seconds later, 2 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. She tells me she's all done, we put her down. I don't make her stay on the potty. And she'd get down and 2 seconds later she'd pee. So we had her help clean it up, because that is part of it sounds horrible, natural consequences, but that is just something. You pee on the floor, you make a mess, you clean it up. And we would help her, and she did a very good job. It was never a punishment. We never yelled at her. We never scolded her. We talked about accidents happen, but we need to try and do pee in the potty. And it took her a couple of days. I think the second day, she didn't pee for probably 6-7 hours in the morning, and then she peed in her diaper during nap time, and then she went pretty much all afternoon with nothing. I actually got to the point where I was about ready to quit because I was afraid she was going to cause a bladder infection by holding her pee for so long. But we kept at it, and because she would then pee and I would feel successful, and I didn't want to completely stop the process when we were moving forward. We were moving at baby steps, increments that I was a little bit slower and unexpected to me than I had originally planned. But that's okay. It doesn't always go according to what we planned. It was still moving forward. I still felt like we were progressing, so I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to give up on her. I didn't want to give up on us. We were doing a really good job. She would have some successes during the day. She would have some accidents during the day. One day would be really good, one day would be really bad. It went back and forth for about a week and a half before I really felt like, okay, now she's got it. And you could see that moment where it clicked in her brain of what she needed to do. Most of the time, if she didn't pee in the potty, she would hold it until she had a diaper on and then she would pee. So she did really, really well. And she was waking up for the first week and a half or so with wet diapers in the morning and wet diapers after her nap time. But again, I was okay with that because I felt like we were still progressing, just in baby steps. And she finally figured out what she needed to do. She understood the feeling. She understood how to hold for long amounts of time. And she did really, really well after that. Even when we started going out, if we were hiking, she had no problem just, kind of cradling her in our arms and her doing pee outside. As well as when we went to the zoo or to the store or something like that. Again, we used Rana and the foldable seat, and she was happy to sit on that. She was also really excited to be able to use Rana. Now she goes completely without a seat most of the time. She is not as sensitive as Ezekiel was about it. She has no problem just sitting on the potty and going. So yeah, so that was our potty training experience. I consider her completely potty trained. She does wear a diaper at night, but she never wakes up with a wet diaper. I couldn't tell you the last time she had a wet diaper. It's been about 6 weeks now. So since we got her over the initial hump of not peeing during the day and only peeing when she had a diaper on, to being able to pee anytime, she basically is at the point of being able to pee on command almost, to where if it's, she may have just peed an hour and a half ago, but you put her on the toilet before bedtime and you ask her to do pee, she usually will. So she pees almost every time before nighttime, before we go in the car. And the rest of the time she stays dry, and she hasn't had an accident for a long time. It took us a little bit longer with poo-poo, just because I think it's a little bit more scary for kids with it, but now we've gotten past that hurdle as well. And again, it's just a matter of trying to stay consistent, not getting upset about accidents happening, explaining to them what happened and what we need to do, that you need to do pee, that you need to do poo-poo, and make sure we get there on time. And it's a process, you guys. Just remember, kids don't learn things overnight necessarily, and they need time to adjust and to learn these things. So you've got to be patient with them, stick with it, be patient with yourself. It will happen, it will click, and don't be afraid to stop if you feel like it's not working, and try again in a couple of months. There's nothing wrong with it. It's better to stop something that is completely unsuccessful or that you're not confident in doing at the time than to continue with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, click subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Okay, ta-ta.